If you're making spinnerbaits, you probably already own a few. Find your favorite spinnerbait and look at it and see what color beads and shape of blades and try to figure out the size of the blades if you're wanting to make more like that. Painted blank. We got the spinner. I use a pretty high quality spinner. They're like $1 a piece, but they're worth it. I have a 5.5 willow leaf blade, a 3 size Colorado blade, a Clevis, and various types of beads. I like to start with the color beads. It really doesn't matter. Sometimes I put the metal beads in front. Sometimes I use different colors. It's whatever instinct you have that is telling you what colors work for your lake. Trust your instincts. Switch colors often. So the Clevis is just a little bitty horseshoe piece. Very hard to show you, but it's just a little horseshoe piece. It's got a hole on each end, and they're easy to drop. So you put half of the horseshoe on, feed it through, and then you take your Colorado blade, your small blade, and you put it on the Clevis so that the front bubble, the water runs over the edges of the spinner blade. So you need that part facing the direction the lure is going to be pulled in. Just works better that way. Will it catch fish the other way? Yeah, it probably will. I'm sure it does, because I'm sure I've done it, not even realizing I've done it. But the Clevis with the blade, and then the other matching color, just for starters. It all free slides on here. The beads help the Clevis from going around the corner of the R bend. Just for these type of lures, definitely want a bead or something on there before the Clevis, because it'll hang up around this little corner and it won't spin. And obviously the more flash you have is the whole point of a spinnerbait. So I got that bead on there. I'm going to go ahead and put a metal bead on. Metal bead. I put my big clear one on there now, and then another metal bead. And they've rolled all over the place here, so you know how that goes. Anyway, I'm going to put the other bead on there. So now I've got a Clevis surrounded by colored beads, and then I got a clear bead surrounded by metal beads. And then all I got left to do is put my big blade on here. Now you can put this in any combination, anything you want. I just say at a bare minimum, you want a couple of beads around your Clevis. The rest of it is cosmetic, or however you feel about it. So the big blade and the spinner can be the tricky part. So my spinners come with split rings on the end. The split ring, one for the blade and one to hook onto your lure. So there's a little bell shape to it. And I like the bevel of the bell to go in the direction the lure is being pulled. It just seems to be the way it's designed to be used. And so I want to attach my spinner to the bottom side of that then. And the way we do that is to use our split ring pliers and open up the split ring. Once it's open a little bit, you're just going to take your blade and run it through the hole. Once it's started, I usually switch to needle nose and just run that all the way around. Once it clips on there, you can tell because it'll be in the middle of the hole. So you're putting your spinner onto your blade. Now that is all you need to do with that. Now while you still got your needle nose, and you're going to take the very end of the wire, you're going to grab the needle nose pretty close to the end, just a little bit sticking up. And now in the direction of the hook and trying to keep that bend in line with the wire, I just made a little hook that's going to receive the other end of the split ring of the spinner. And then I'm going to close up that little gap, because obviously that'll fall right off of there. So take my pliers again. I'll squeeze this until the point. Careful while you're doing it. It's all real loose. I'm just going to squeeze that point until it closes the gap. I like to go a little far and then come back a little bit and line it up under the wire, just to make it a good tight loop. So we're going to prepare to make our skirts. This is rubber skirt material, and it comes in a variety of colors and sizes. These you're going to cut to length. So you're going to figure out what size you want for your spinnerbait. If you want a long skirt, a thick skirt, and you just cut this to the right size and stack a couple of different sections on top of each other, and you're going to make your skirt that way. The silicone material, it comes pre-cut to length, and you assemble those, and then you just cut the ends off, and it frees up all the strands. Anyway, you just stretch out your material. I use just fabric scissors. Cut one piece about 5.5 inches or so. There are probably 30 strands in each of these little sections. So there are about 30 strands in each of these. So depending on how thick you want your skirt, you can use as much or as little of this as you want. What I've been doing is I got one full section, and then I want some regular yellow in there, not just the reptile. So I'm going to split this one in half and just use half of the yellow. I'm going to lay it on top of my reptile color. And then I want a little bit of black also. And so I'm going to cut it. And then I'm only going to take about a third of the black material, because I only want just a little strip of the dark along the top. And then I just lay all those on top of each other. The important part of making the skirt work is the little rubber bands that you're going to use to hold the skirt together, and it holds it on the lure. They're just a tiny little piece of latex or something. That tiny little hole in the center of it. Very hard to see. So the way you open that up enough to get the spinnerbait material, the skirt material, through the center of it, for me, I use, it's just an old pin. So put the point right in the center, and then kind of roll the little rubber band until it's over the part of the pin you're going to keep. So once I got my rubber bands on there, I take the pin apart, and I'm just going to put the skirt material in the hole and run the rubber band off onto the skirt material. I already have some laid out here, and so I'm just going to roll it up, the tip of it, just like a burrito or a cigarette or whatever. Try to get it small enough that it just slides into the pin. And I'm just going to run it in as far as it'll easily go, and then I just roll the rubber band off onto the skirt material. Then what I like to do is to open up the skirt in such a way that the colors I want on top, the dark colors, just so I can control the colors. I like the blacks or the blues, the dark colors, to be on the back of the lure. And I can't do that if it's all wrapped up like a burrito. So if I open it up a little bit and I got my dark colors on top, that ends up working out very well. So then you're just going to break apart the pieces. You just kind of release it in a couple strands at a time from your pinch. Works as good as anything, especially if you're only making a few. I usually do the dangle. Doesn't hang over as much as I want, so I'm going to roll my rubber band down just a little bit. That doesn't look bad. So my dark blue's on the back. And I'm just going to run my hook through the center. Push it up onto the collar that holds it, so past the point until it snaps into place. And then boom, you got a really nice spinnerbait. It would cost you probably $7 if you were to go buy one of this quality in a bait shop. I'm just going to put the hook through so that when it spins around the hook, the dark black is where I want it to be. And now I got a nice looking skirt. My eye, I'm just going to use, it's just an acrylic black paint. And I just give it a good shake so that a little bit of the paint ends up on the lid. And then I'm going to grab my paintbrush and I'm just going to dip a good amount into the, I want it so it's just going to kind of drip onto the eye. And then my lure has an eye socket, and I'm just going to touch it right in the middle of the eye socket with it. It's got a decent amount. And that little eye, just a droplet of paint right in the center of the eye socket there. Just enough to break up the yellow. So the silicone skirt material, this is a green pumpkin with black and blue. Green pumpkin with black and blue, so a natural color. This silicone comes in pieces that the ends are connected together. So this one's a lot simpler than the others. I just lay out whatever colors I want. This is considered a bait fish material color. Again, with the speckles, I like it a lot. The natural color with the white speckles, same deal, roll it up. Just going to put it inside the end of the pin. This slides in easier. There's probably 20 strands for each thing, each section. So this will be about 40 strands of silicone. It's thinner than the rubber. And then I roll it down where I want. And then with this style, all you're going to do is take your scissors and cut the ends. The ends are still connected, so you just take and cut off a ½ inch of that material until all your pieces are separated. And there you have your skirt. So I'll put that on the spinnerbait, the natural color spinnerbait. Dark color towards the back, just kind of my normal philosophy. Run it all the way up onto the collar. And then that's what I call a crappie. I don't know, it seems to catch a lot of fish. Well, I hope you found some of that useful, that you found some tricks that might help you make some spinnerbaits. They're a super good tool for catching lots of fish. And again, I'm Alan, Not Just Fishing. Have fun, and we'll see you later.